I was staring at the same cracked ceiling tile in the conference room when my boss slid the performance review across the table with his usual half smile. Promotion denied, again, number 10, 10 times in 5 years. Priya, you're doing great work, Vikram said, leaning forward like he was sharing a secret. But this quarter, we're focusing on team players who bring in new business. You're next in line for spring, I promise. I started laughing, not polite laughter, the sharp, broken kind that makes people shift uncomfortably in their seats. Vikram's smile faltered. What's so funny? Me, I said, wiping my eyes. I'm the joke for believing you 10 times while I trained every person who jumped ahead of me. That laugh was the moment everything changed. Hi everyone, I'm Priya Sharma. I was 29 when this happened, working as a client success manager at Vertex Solutions, a growing tech services firm that helped e-commerce brands scale their operations. 5 years I'd given them. 5 years of being the firefighter who jumped in at 2 a.m. when accounts were about to churn. 5 years of hitting every target while watching less experienced people get the senior title I deserved. Before we go deeper, if you've ever felt completely invisible at work despite carrying the team, drop your city or country in the comments and smash that like button. Knowing I'm not alone makes these stories easier to share. So back to that meeting. I composed myself, told Vikram I understood, and walked out. I passed Neha at her desk, the one who got the promotion this time. She'd been here 14 months and spent most of her time networking instead of delivering. Something inside me finally hardened. Vertex loved talking about meritocracy and family culture. I was employee number 22. I single-handedly saved 3 major clients from leaving by rebuilding their onboarding processes. I worked weekends without complaint. Every time I asked why I wasn't promoted, the reasons changed. Need more visibility? Need bigger deals? Need more leadership presence? I checked every box, and they still moved the goalposts. That night, I sat on my apartment floor and cried. I called my older brother and poured it all out. He listened quietly, then said, "Stop investing in a company that won't invest in you. Start building your own table." His words kept me awake. The next morning, I went to work smiling as usual, but the plan had begun forming. I started documenting everything on my personal laptop, every process I'd created, every client relationship I personally maintained, every late-night fix that kept accounts alive. I built a private impact map showing exactly how much Vertex depended on me, especially with our top 3 clients who always asked for me by name. I gave myself 4 months for a quiet transition. I kept performing at the same high level, but every action now served my future instead of theirs. First, I made myself even more central. I took on the toughest client issues. I strengthened personal relationships so clients trusted me, not just the company logo. Second, I quietly registered my own consulting firm, Lumina Advisory, and started saving aggressively. I had careful professional conversations with 2 dissatisfied clients, offering insights without crossing lines. Third, I detached emotionally. I stopped feeling the sting when Vikram took credit in meetings. I stopped hoping for invitations to leadership offsites. I began seeing Vertex as a temporary platform. At month 3, they promoted someone else again, number 11. I smiled and congratulated them. Vikram looked surprised by my calm. Exactly 4 months after that 10th rejection, I walked into Vikram's office. "I'm resigning," I said, placing the letter on his desk. 2 weeks' notice. His face drained of color. "Priya, we're in the middle of the big festive season rollout for 3 key clients. You can't leave now." "It's all in the letter," I replied calmly. Panic spread quickly. By day 5, systems I'd built started causing issues because no one else fully understood them. Clients began calling, asking specifically for me. Vikram suddenly wanted daily handover sessions. "Of course," I said politely. "My consulting rate outside the company is $220 per hour." He stared at me like I'd grown a second head. By the end of the first week, the founders made their first offer, senior manager title with a 22% raise. I declined. Second offer came on day 10, director level jump with 40% raise and bonus. Again, I said no. On my last day, the CEO pulled me aside in the lobby. "Name your terms, Priya. We'll make it right." For a moment, the old desire for validation flickered, but I remembered all 10 rejections. I've already made other plans, I said softly. The real shift happened after I left. Within 2 weeks, two of Vertex's biggest clients moved their accounts to Lumina Advisory. They chose me personally. I hadn't stolen them aggressively. They simply followed the person they trusted. Vertex's retention numbers tanked. Vikram called 3 times, begging me to return. The CEO left a voicemail offering nearly double my old salary plus equity. I didn't call back. Today, 18 months later, Lumina Advisory has 8 employees and steady growth. I work sane hours. I promote based on real contribution. Neha actually reached out recently, burned out at Vertex, and I brought her on as a client coordinator. She's thriving now. Sometimes I still feel a small weight thinking about the colleagues left behind in the chaos. But then I remember sitting in that conference room laughing at my own naivety after the 10th rejection. The best revenge wasn't watching them struggle. It was building something that finally valued my worth and giving others the respect I never received.